Maybe it's a weakness. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to refer to it as. A weakness, a proclivity. I don't know, bro. But um, we have this thing where we compare ourselves to people, and it's not okay in most cases. Comparing yourself to other people, what they have, what they don't have. I mean, what they have, what you don't have, right? It's very much useless to compare yourself to other people. How they are, how they act, how they don't act. See, let me just say something, my nigga. You see, let me tell you something. One thing is for sure, you must never break character. You must never be in the position to break character whatsoever. Ever. You know? Even if you're using a high quality phone, even if you're using a low quality phone, you must never break character. In a world that seeks to make everyone the same, in a world that seeks to make everyone think the same way and do the very same thing, you must never ever break character. You know, I've been learning myself not to break character. It's been a gradual thing. It's been a slow thing. It's been a thing that hasn't taken off. It's been a thing that hasn't been looking up. Uh, calming down, controlling your emotions. Uh, there's a particular outlet. I don't want to think that it's not really fulfilling at all. Like it is very necessary to a degree to be involved in such a recreational act that I'm not gonna mention, but it just ends up being non-constructive, and it ends up being non-constructive. And but one thing is for sure, as far as how I've been living life as a 28 year old dude, I've been trying to stay inspired as much as possible. I've been trying to think positively as much as possible, with the channel, whatever, and creating the channel, focusing on the channel, uh, enhancing, the visibility, whatever. That has been nothing but my purpose, because in the world you gotta have purpose, gotta be driven, gotta be inspired, you know. You have to thrive and you have to flourish under pressure. Pressure is necessary to a degree, to an extent, and not peer pressure, of course, not pressure from societal uh, elements, but pressure for you to get better. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You existing, you living, you being present. The pressure, it comes with, and it warrants that you do indeed have to make a change. And most of us are often not accepting of change. And sadly, even if we may come to be successful, some of us are not really accepting of change and what change really entails and what change has to actually really entail. Our, our traumas serve as comfort, our traumas serve as comfort. And it's crazy, it's crazy how traumas to some people serve as comfort. There are certain people that feel like to them, uh, peace is not a fulfilling thing. Yeah, I'm good. How you doing today? I'm just having a talk. I'm just ruminating. Yeah, well, just talking about things based on how I've been observing them. life and all, existence and all. Yeah. Hmm. Right. So instead of actually striving to fit in, you see, human interaction is just human interaction at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Human interaction is human interaction at the end of the day. But at the same time, you mustn't rush towards being too desperate. You know, some of us want to be seen, and it ends up being too much, and it ends up being detrimental for our mental health at the end of the day. You know, when you want to be seen, way too much. When you feel like you have to be seen, way too much, way more than what it has to be. Right? What do I think about Jesus? Hmm. What do I think about Jesus? Kai Den Maltke. Kai Den Maltke. How are you doing today? What do I think about Jesus, huh? Well, Jesus is way more than an interpretation of a guy who came down to earth to die for sins and stuff like that. Because I mean, according to me, right? You said my opinion. Jesus is not necessarily a Messiah who came to die for people because sins, the emancipation of sins, and what, and it wasn't that. It's never been that. Jesus is the Christ, basically, right? If Jesus is a person, he was just a person. That's all he was, a person. A person who actually realized that, you know, of course, he had to undergo a time of isolation. Jesus, he had to isolate. He was a person just like me and you who had to isolate themselves enough in order to realize that within the human anatomy, within the human body, within the human biology itself, lives mediums, lives, you know, inconspicuous chemicals, I guess, and hormones that are responsible for regulating higher body functionality at the end of the day. And that higher body functionality being accompanied by higher realization, higher thought process, higher overall perception, you know, of the physical and non-physical environments or realms. If any of that really makes any sense. So Jesus, if Jesus was a person, he was a person. That's all he was, a person. There are accounts, there are other cultural accounts uh, of Jesus, who he was, what he was seeking. So Jesus is way more than just the biblical interpretation, slash Christian doctrine that we are used to in the modern day. That's my opinion on Jesus. That is my opinion on Jesus. My opinion, not anyone else's. Mine. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love such things because I get to you know think outside of the box. I get to think outside of the box, and if this kind of content is not too personal for you, hit that like button. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Comment in order to boost the algorithm. We're still growing. We still haven't unlocked any features, and unfortunately, I don't have the necessary funding, to probably make the campaign, a little more viable, I guess. You see, this road to 1,000 subscribers campaign of mine, I guess, you see. Uh Yeah, pretty much. Krusher Recs, Revinator, After Mother Haters, rapper, songwriter, content creator, one of the best rappers of his time. And the slogan goes to the naysayers like you lose nothing. Mm, 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 mm. So you mustn't actually be in the position to be too desperate for anything or for anyone's approval. Like you're too desperate for everyone's approval. You gotta do one, two, three. You know that is going to titillate. You know the ego or stimulate the ego of other people. Henceforth, they're gonna have their egos stricken. They're gonna have stricken egos. You know, you must always prevent that. Me, I always try and prevent that. You see, I'm always around people talking to people, but I don't be around people talking to people because I wish to so be a part of their routine because I think that they're way more cooler. No, I sit around people because I want to derive certain behavioral patterns. I don't sit around people because I just want them to buy me things and buy me food and stimulate me and stuff like that. I sit around people because I want to derive certain things because there are certain behavioral patterns, because there are certain ways of thinking that I want to sort of peel through, while sitting with them. Me sitting with them doesn't suggest that I'm desperate, too desperate. I want them to buy me things because them buying me things is gonna warrant one, two, three, ABC. That's not what I'm about. That's not how I roll. That's not how I do shit. If anybody doesn't like how I do it, they just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? My dad passed away. So I guess my dad passing away sort of highlights the calm that I have to assume going forward. I have to be calm going forward. I have to be more calm going forward. Approaching this channel, approaching the growth of this channel, approaching the growth of the Krusher Recs brand, I have to be way calmer. I have to be calm. And whatever comes, I have to just, take it as it goes. One step at a time, baby steps. Feel me? I'm 28 years old, right? No wife, no kid. I don't know, bro. 28 years old, no wife, no kid, don't own nothing. I don't own nothing. Uh and I want to think that me not owning nothing is not entirely for nothing. I want to believe that me not having nothing is not entirely for nothing. Right? And then again, if this kind of content really hits home, hit that like button. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure to click that notification bell. Right? Um, there are some changes that I need. There are some changes that I need. There are some changes that I need. There are some changes that I'm chasing. There are some changes that I'm striving to get towards. And as I do everything with all my heart, I just hope that I get the reward. You feel me? Like there are some changes that I'm chasing. There are some changes that I'm obsessing over excessively because there are certain things that others have done that I wouldn't want to do. Not because want to make it sound like other people are better than other people or other people are justified more than other people. Of course, there's no such thing. Of course, there's no such thing. There is no such thing as other people are justified or more justified than other people. There is no such thing. You are not as unique. Your gender doesn't make you unique. Your gender doesn't justify the fact that certain things have to be way more disadvantageous for the other one. That is to say, I'm a man. It doesn't mean that because I'm a man, I gotta have certain things being disadvantageous for me because I'm a man. Because I'm somebody who's just streaming and probably not doing nothing, cracking nothing, but on the other hand, realizing that I'm cracking a whole lot of shit. Realizing that, you feel me? Like I'm doing this shit and it's like I'm just babbling and babbling away. And it's either certain people be taking what I'm saying or not. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna make no difference because at the end of the day, I came in here, you know, comforting myself. And I don't want to believe that I came in here comforting others to a degree. I don't want to believe that I came in here bringing peace to the people, to other people's lives to a degree, like I've been bringing peace to mine's. In terms of as far as, what I'm saying, chasing this thing, doing this thing, whatever this is, you feel me? People asking me about Jesus, what I think about Jesus, and me answering what I really think about it and what I really perceive it to be, right? And that is the Christ, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ isn't just the interpretation of the word or the name or some name that was given to a young child, a young baby boy who's supposedly anointed by some virgin female. It's not just, Jesus. It's like Jesus is a name. Let me just put it like this, right? Jesus is a name, and then Christ is a level that you reach. Like, you don't just become Christ. You feel me? Christ is not just it's like a surname or whatever. Nah, 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 nah. You feel me? Cristo. Cristo is not just a surname. Cristo, right? That's like the Latin slash whatever Italian translation, if I'm not mistaken. So Cristo is not. It's not just a surname, I guess. Because to some people, I guess the people that are like super Christian fanatics, I guess that to some of them, Christ is a surname. Christ, no, no, no. Christ is not a surname. Christ is a certain level of consciousness, a certain level of thought that you reach, a certain level of perception that you acquire. Christ is not just a box that is simply just, you know, limited to a religion, a doctrine. Christ. So Christ is not a religion. Christ has nothing to do with religion and fanaticism, you know what I mean, and philosophy. Christ is an actual level that you end up getting to. Mina ngiyathinza la, ngiyathinza mina vele la, ngiyakhehleta la, ngithe ukukhehleta la. I didn't come on here to pander. You see, let me tell you something. I'm not a YouTuber who panders. I'm not gonna pander. And one thing is for sure, pandering is not gonna make me successful. But speaking what is really my mind, that's what's gonna make me successful. And to those who keep on scrolling away, it just means that I'm out there and beyond.